Right after the election, I signed up for a number of newsletters and I joined a number of Facebook groups and started following people and organizations on Facebook and Twitter that had been doing the work that I wanted to do and had been doing the work for a while. I also signed up for newsletters that were weekly or daily calls to action with a list of actual tasks that you could do to attempt to stop the train wreck that we saw happening in front of our eyes. These are all great things, and I'm glad that I signed up, and I'm glad that I followed, and I'm glad that I can still see that in my inbox and on my news feed every day. It's really encouraging to see these people working day after day. But my problem has been that I haven't been working at this day after day. I never have. It's all new to me. And that makes it difficult. That makes me hesitant to do the work. Not because I don't want to do the work, but because I've never done it before. And I'm not sure how, or if I'm doing it right, or maybe I just really don't like making phone calls. But the thing that matters is doing it anyway. And I think the thing that I've been heartened by in the last few months is that there are so many people like me who have no idea what they're doing, but they're doing it anyway, and they're trying, and they're learning, and that's almost as much as we can hope for right now, is just commitment to trying. I've always had trouble showing up to events by myself or where I've never been before. And I talked about that in the last video about fear of failure and fear of embarrassment. This is the same thing. And the advice that I had for that is the same that I have for this. You just have to do it. You have to show up. You have to keep trying, even if that means failing. Even if that means not doing it quite right or exactly the way you wanted it to happen. I'm gonna be heading down to DC and I'm gonna be marching in Washington, DC for the first time in my life. And not just because it's in DC and not just because it's on inauguration weekend, but the first time that I've really showed up to any sort of large crowd gathered for the same purpose. And I'm scared. I'm nervous because I've never done it before. And that made me hesitate when I wanted to go, but it wasn't really my thing, you know? I don't like big crowds and lots of people. And so I didn't plan on going. I was really encouraged to see people who were going, but it was never really part of my plan to attend. A friend of mine reached out and said that they had an extra seat in their car and room in the hotel room. Did I want to join? And because I'd never done it before, because I'd never marched or gone to a rally or protest or anything like that, I hesitated. Even when someone was inviting me personally, I hesitated. And then eventually I realized that if this wasn't a call to action for me, if a personalized invitation wasn't good enough, I would never go. I would never join. I would never show up for the things that I believe in. And I do believe in them. And I have believed in these things for a while. I just haven't had the practice of showing up again and again to make sure that the things that I believe in are protected. This is the first time that I'm gonna show up in a real way for what I believe in. There are a number of reasons that I'm attending the march, and honestly it's probably just better to read the organizer's statement on why the march is being organized in the first place, because they have outlined it much better than I can ever hope to. I know that the march isn't going to solve everything, but for me, it's step one. And without step one, I have no hope of completing step 2 and step 3 and everything else that needs to happen for us to protect the things that we believe in. Attending this march means knowing that I can show up and make it through an event like this. And for now, that's enough. Going to the Women's March is just part one of being the actively engaged citizen that I want to be. I'm still not really sure what to expect from the march, but I know that I need to do it, to prove to myself that I can make it through something this big and this important and show up for the things that I believe in, and show up for my friends and family that are counting on all of us to make it through, because there's no other way than through. If you're going to the march, either in DC or wherever you are, be safe, stay strong, and if this is the first time you're attending an event like this, remember that you're not alone, and that we'll get through this together.